Yesterday's boundaries can trigger today's guilt for a sensitive person, and it's terrible. It's the worst feeling. It can feel like a literal death. I've experienced it. I've had a lot of clients who've experienced it. So today we're going to talk about my body, my home, that guilt is the stranger here. A Course in Miracles would call guilt just another form of fear, right? And fear does not know. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. So today we're going to talk about A Course in Miracles lesson. This is going to continue in my playlist on A Course in Miracles lessons that help directly with anxiety. We're going to do some EFT today. We're going to do a little meditation. It's going to be really good. This is a really good lesson. And I'm also going to tell you about a recent story where I said no to a social event, something that I was talking about in my last video. I said no to a social invitation, and I woke up the next day with horrible guilt. I thought I was beyond this, okay? I wasn't. So I woke up the next day with horrible guilt, and I'm going to talk about what happened and how I handled it. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about, I've heard him say before, this almost spooked me. He said before about negative emotions, when we practice negative emotions, such as guilt, fear, anger, whatever it is, when we practice them over and over again, and like he'll say, they have made a home in you. They have made a home in you. And something when he says that, it just like, it really gets me because it's like, no, my home, my body is my home for this lifetime, and those emotions are strangers. So this is why this Course in Miracles lesson 160 is perfect for this, because what it says is, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. How weird is this too? Yesterday I was looking, I'm like, I should want to get back on Substack. So I was looking at my Substack and I hadn't posted anything there for 2 years. It was 2023 was the last time I posted, and it was all about this. It was about my body, my home. I talked about that Eckhart Tolle, about him saying they have made a home in you. And so the meditation that we're gonna do today is actually from that Substack, something that I wrote 2 years ago. It's the law of attraction is so interesting. Okay, so I am at home, fear is the stranger here, lesson 160. Let's go ahead and look at the lesson really fast. Okay, lesson 160. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. Okay, every line in this is so good. So every sentence, we need to pause. Okay, identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. This is because who you truly are. You are not fear. You are love. So if you identify with fear, like fear, A Course in Miracles says there's two emotions, fear or love. All emotions can fall under two categories, which is true. Fear or love. So for instance, if you identify with anxiety, you have become the anxiety, and that is not who you are. So you have become something that you are not. So and how do we know if we've identified? If the emotion has taken us over and we don't realize that we are not the emotion, if we are not the observer of it, that is how we know that we have identified with it, okay? And if we've identified with fear, any type of fear, that means we have become somebody who we are not. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. I talk about in my Substack, look, scan all in your inner body. Where is the fear? And that's what we've been doing, right, with our EFT lessons. Okay. And thus you are unknown to you. What is yourself, capital S, remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such a circumstance? Who but a madman could believe that he is what he is not and judge against himself? Don't call me a madman. Okay. There is a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth that he speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him, while he is an alien now who is at home. And yet, how easy it would be to say, this is my home. Here I belong, and I will not leave because a madman says I must. What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you have asked this stranger in to take your place and let you be a stranger to yourself? So this is like, I'm in charge, I'm in charge of how I feel. No one would let him be dispossessed so needlessly unless he thought there were another home more suited to his taste. It's so interesting because this word dispossessed, I talk about in the Substack that I wrote about possession, about the term possession and like what that really means, taken over. But we won't get into that. That's a whole other thing, but it's just interesting because I didn't notice this word there before. Who is the stranger? Is it fear or you who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his son? This is really good. Is it fear or you? Who is the stranger? Is fear his own capital H, capital O, meaning is fear God's, created in his likeness? Is fear created in God's likeness? No, fear is not of God. Let's move forward to the certainty of God. Let's move forward to the certainty of God. Karate chop. Okay. Is it fear that love completes and is completed by? There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. I put real and fear together. I said rear. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. Okay, let's pause here. If you are real, I can't say it. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. The course can be summed up by that sentence, right? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So if you are real, then fear must be an illusion. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. Okay. Remember, only the lasting is real. Only the lasting is real. Only what lasts is real. Fear doesn't last. How simply then the question is resolved. Who fears has but denied himself and said, I am the stranger here. And so I leave my home to one more like me than myself and give him all I thought belonged to me. I started that. Like, okay, I give up. I just leave my home and leave it to fear. Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things but this, that he is not himself and that his home has been denied to him. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. Remember, a miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in and took no alien thought to be itself, and it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own. Who is the stranger? Is he not one yourself, capital S, calls not? You are unable now to recognize the stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. Yet is yourself as certain of its own as God is of his son. He cannot be confused about his creation. He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his son. We move onward to the certainty of God. Karate chop. God's certainty suffices. Whom he knows to be his son belongs where he has set his son forever. He has answered you who ask, who is the stranger? Hear his voice assure you quietly and sure that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator stranger made to you. Whom God has joined, remain forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. Today we offer thanks that God has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves. Yet as they give him welcome, they remember, and he leads them gently home again where they belong. Not one does Christ forget. Not one he fails to give you to remember, that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. Who denies his brother is denying him. Better recognize your brother, right? And thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come. Okay, let's read that last sentence. Who denies his brother is denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. So I talked about how recently I said no to some social plans, a social invitation. It was no big deal. But the next day I woke up with a feeling of horrid guilt. At like 4 a.m. I woke up and I could not stop feeling guilty about it. I was going through loops in my head about how maybe I should go. Maybe it is something that I should do, and then feeling bad about the people that I said no to, and just this was going over and over in my head, and nothing would stop it. It was awful. So I was in bed with my husband and my dog, and this is the things that I tried, nothing was working. It went on for probably an hour or two, and nothing was working. I was laying in bed. These are things that helped. I will tell you things that helped and how eventually I got out of it. But the things that helped were laying in bed, like with my dog, my husband, feeling this grounding energy. And when I say helped, it like made it bearable, but it was still quite awful. Okay, so it made it bearable. I asked for a miracle. I asked God to help me to see this through the eyes of love instead of fear. And when I do that now, it's pretty ingrained in me that I have faith that it will come. It's just the question is, how long is it going to be? I ended up feeling better once I got up and like started doing things and like read my Course in Miracles, moving onward to the certainty of God. I started feeling better, but this is just a journey for me for my life. It's like saying yes to things. Like I said in my last video, I'm saying yes to things that uplift me. And right away, when I got this social invitation, I knew internally it was a no. Like I knew it was a no. My body, everything, my intuition said to me, this is too much. I'm doing like, there's too many things. This will be overwhelming and it's too much. And this is a no. And I felt really good and secure in myself saying no. I felt really good about it, actually. I felt free. And then it was like what I said about how yesterday's boundaries can trigger today's guilt, because then the next day I felt guilty. Now, I know that guilt was very short term. Like now I don't feel it. It's gone. And I think the important parts of this is I endured it. I endured the guilt and I didn't act from it. Like everything in me just wanted to text my friends and be like, I'm going, I'll come now. I've decided plans have changed and I can come. Everything inside of me wanted to do that, but it would have been motivated from guilt. And I'm working on not living a guilt-led life. I want to lead a spirit-led life. Okay, I'm sure somebody watching this can relate to this. So this is something to practice. When you feel like internally an invitation's a no, saying no, and then sitting with the guilt. And I feel like the only way that we are going to my body, my home, our guilt is if we don't allow it to run the show anymore. It doesn't get to say, I'll feel it, whatever, but I'm not going to act from it. I'm not going to act from it anymore. My nervous system, wants it in a way. So, but my true self, all of our true selves want peace. I always laugh because I think about like, I go through YouTube and I see all these like clickbaity titles, like you have things to fear, the world's ending or whatever, whatever. A lot of clickbaity titles. And I laugh because mine's are like, you have nothing to fear. It's not very, our nervous systems don't necessarily want that, right? They want more fear. Have you ever been fearful when you go through YouTube, like about the world or something, and then you just see more and more and more of it? Anyway, so that's my story about my recent guilt and how I dealt with it. Now let's do some tapping. We'll do some energy work. I feel like tapping is kind of like flossing, or recently our dentist told my husband to get a water pick. And I was reading about water picking and flossing and brushing. And it was saying that like when you do use the water pick before you brush, that it helps your teeth to absorb the toothpaste or something like that. I thought that was interesting. And I feel like tapping is kind of like a water pick, So like if we tap, I don't know, should we tap before we read the lesson? Because I feel like tapping kind of allows us to soak in the lesson. So we're going to tap today, and then we're going to do a little meditation. So maybe the tapping today will help us soak in the meditation. We're just going to do it a little bit today. So let's just tap like we gently do the gentle touching. I'm going to do the gentle touching. You can tap or massage the points, whatever. You can just follow along and do what works for you. So just take some time right now to scan your inner body and to notice if you feel any fear or any tension in it. Are you at home? Is fear the stranger in your body, or has fear made a home in you? Has it made a home in you anywhere? So we're going to just tap on this. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. And just notice if you feel any resistance and just observe it. Observe the resistance. See if it shifts. Just notice. So I am at home. Fear is a stranger here. Let's just start right away at the top of the head. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Notice if you feel any resistance. Just notice it. Don't try to get rid of it or anything like that. Inner eyebrow, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Outer eye, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the eye, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the nose, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the chin, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Sore spot, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the arm, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Top of the head, let's do it again. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Inner eyebrow, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Outer eye, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the eye, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the nose, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Chin, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Collarbone, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Under the arm, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Just notice if the resistance has moved at all, if you feel any better, if you feel any different. Okay, and now we're gonna do a little meditation. So go ahead and get comfortable, or just stay where you are, because you probably are kind of comfortable. If you're driving, obviously don't close your eyes. You can close your eyes if you aren't. So take a couple deep breaths. Sit up straight, feet on the floor, palms up, if possible. I am at home. Fear is a stranger here. My body is my home for this lifetime, and I have a say about who or what gets to stay in my home. I have the power to banish unhealthy emotions. I have the awareness of which emotions are not welcome. I am meant to be a host of clarity, spaciousness, peace, and truth. Fear might come and go, but it is short-lived. Negative emotions are not welcome to stay in my home, because they are not who I am. I am in charge. My presence is bigger than these emotions. I may feel them or observe them, but they are not me. I cannot be something that I feel. I am the one who feels. The feelings don't feel me. This means I am in charge. I take my power back now. I claim my truth. I am free. Unhelpful emotions cannot live in the light of the present moment. They feed off the past and the future. My presence banishes fear, guilt, and shame. My presence is only in the present. Here is where my power lies. I now banish any negativity lingering in my body. I feel my body from the inside. I feel aliveness in my hands, my wrists, my arms, my shoulders, my back, my spine, my abdomen, my legs, my calves, my feet, my toes. And by doing this, I clear my body of lurking negativity. I am aware. I am the awareness. I guard the temple of my body and allow it to be spacious, clear, and free. This is in the highest good of all. When I honor who I truly am, I also honor everyone else. Peace and love. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful today. We're gonna end with a little quote by Florence Scovel Shinn. This is a recent author that I actually didn't even know about. She's very Neville Goddard-ish, I feel like. But But this is a quote from a book that I just am reading. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And the quote is, "In the twinkling of an eye, man's release will come when he realizes there is no power in evil. The material world will fade away, and the fourth dimensional world, the way of the wondrous, will swing into manifestation. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and there shall be no more death, nor sorrow, or crying, nor shall there be more pain, for the former things will pass away." I love that. And this, of course, Miracles talks about how there is no power in evil. Evil only has relative power, but not ultimate power. So when we realize there is no power in these feelings, there is no power in our guilt, there is no power in our fear, we shall enter in the new earth. Okay, so I hope this was helpful today. I never introduced myself, I don't think. My name is Elizabeth Cermak, former psychotherapist turned coach, here to talk about bringing the vertical into this world, helping spiritual people find their center, spiritual people, sensitive people find their center. And I hope this was helpful today. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Peace and love. I'll talk to you soon.